Welcome everyone to our webinar today on taking transit and using PRESTO. Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Kushbal. I'm with Smart Commute. We also have Shamali today from TTC joining us. We'll be taking you through the presentation, and at the end of it, there'll be a period for questions. So thank you so much. And before we get started, if anyone has any trouble hearing me or any other issues arise, there's a chat function on this webinar. Feel free to type in any questions that you have there. As I said, though, we'll be taking questions at the very end. So it's never been a better time to take transit now that the subway has extended into Vaughan. So for today's discussion, we'll be talking about some of the benefits of taking transit, how to get started with PRESTO, and as I mentioned at the very end, we'll be opening up the floor to any questions that anyone has. So as a Smart Commute workplace, Smart Centers gets access to a couple of different exclusive services and programs. They're listed here on the screen, and these are all meant to help you improve your commute. And one of the services is workshops and presentations like what we're doing today. So why take transit? There's a couple of different benefits that I'll be getting into. And starting with, if you drive, you know that your attention is fully occupied with driving and not really able to use that time for anything other than driving. In contrast, taking transit allows you to have some more free time to maybe catch up on some work, do some reading, maybe even catch up on some sleep. So it's a nice way to be a little bit more productive. We all know that traffic congestion can be very stressful, and there's been studies done to show that people arriving to work after driving are often a lot more frustrated, have higher blood pressure, and other health issues related to being stuck in congestion. In contrast, transit users have been shown to have a less likelihood of having to deal with high blood pressure, diabetes. There's also obviously the physical benefits of being able to get up and walk around in a bus or on the subway if you need to. So there's a lot of health benefits associated with taking transit. Another major benefit is actually saving money. So if you include depreciation, owning your own vehicle can cost between $8,600 to $13,000 according to the CAA. And this obviously increases if your commute is longer. Compare this to a cost of taking transit in Toronto is around $1,800 based on having an adult monthly pass. And I'm sure we all have better ways that we could use that money than simply getting to work. So aside from some of the individual benefits, we were talking about congestion. It also has a larger impact on our cities. Congestion has a cost of in the billions in relation to travel delays, the impact on the environment, air pollution, and of course productivity. So leaving your car at home or sharing the car can be a way to help make sure that the city runs more smoothly. So this is yet another way to make sure that you improve not just your own health, but the health of our planet. So hopefully at this point, some of these benefits have perked your interest. You're thinking, I will try transit. Then the next step is obviously planning your route. And there are many options available in Toronto. There's several transit options, including the subway, streetcars, buses, as well as Go Transit and Up Express. What's the best way to weigh your options and choose a route can be a question that comes to mind. And luckily, there are many different apps and technology in place to actually help you with that. The first one we're looking at here is actually TripLinks. So TripLinks is the official trip planner and information resource for the Greater Toronto Hamilton area. And you can access TripLinks by going through the Smart Commute tool if you're registered there, or you can simply go to triplinks.ca. And there is an app available for iPhones and Androids as well. So I'm just going to show you briefly how to use TripLinks. I have it open here on my browser. So hope everyone can see this is just triplinks.ca. So you can put in where you're starting from and where you're going to. Here on the side panel, Just wait to make sure that your address, intersection, whatever you'd like to put in is being recognized, and then put in your destination. You can adjust for the day and the time that you'd like to plan your travel. Click Plan Trip. And it gives you an overview not only of your overall route, it also shows you what transit agency you'd be taking and the cost of it on Presto. Aside from the route, you'll see here on the left-hand panel, you can check things such as fare information, as well as schedules for particular transit agencies, and maybe you have a particular route in mind that you want to double check. So you can access all of that by going on to the TripLinks app. Heading back to our presentation here. So there's many other apps available aside from TripLinks to help make sure that your transit trip is efficient. Some of them are listed here on the screen. These are all free apps, and really they help make sure that you're not, waiting outside, especially in bad weather conditions, wondering when your next bus or subway or anything like that is going to come. They're very useful. So some perks of these various ones: Rocketman allows you to set multiple reminders, letting you know when the bus is going to arrive. The transit app in the middle here actually gives you options other than transit as well. It gives you some bike share, Uber, and car share options. And the City Mapper app you can use offline, which is great, especially if you're waiting for the subway underground. Now, one of the other apps that isn't listed here is called Move It. It's very similar to these apps. It offers real-time trip planning, gives you alerts, and also is available for use offline. So it's very useful, and I would definitely encourage you to check out any of these apps and see which one works best for you. So what if there isn't a transit stop right outside your door, or maybe the subway or station is just a bit further distance than walking permits? There's many different options, including driving or carpooling. Most GO stations offer free parking. You can rent or reserve a parking space at most of the stations, and this parking is available on a first come, first served basis. There's about 17 TTC stations that also have commuter parking spots available. For details on where those parking lots are and the cost, you can visit the TTC website. And of course, you can carpool to go. Carpooling is a great way to save money by sharing the ride with others. And the majority of GO stations have designated carpool parking spots. All you need to do is apply for a free permit online to access these spots. And if you don't have a carpool partner yet, and this seems viable to you, you can always check out our Smart Commute tool website at explore.smartcommute.ca to find a carpool match. Don't worry about jotting that down. We'll be sending out a recording of this webinar to everybody after we finish today. So aside from driving and carpooling, you can also try cycling to the local transit hub. Combining cycling and transit helps you get where you want to go while saving time and money. All TTC buses have bike racks that you can you can use at any time of the day. And there's even bicycle parking at nearby subway stations. And you might have seen actually at some of the local subway stations, there are bike repair stations that you can use to allow you to complete some simple tasks like pumping air into your tires. And some select TTC stations have bicycle lockers that you can rent for as low as $10 for a minimal of 4 months. And you can check that out. More information is available on the TTC website on that. Another option is to use car share. So a lot of people like running errands during their lunch break or visiting friends and family after work. Car share allows you to rent a car by the hour. And so Zipcar and Enterprise are examples of car share companies, and they are located at GO stations or nearby TTC stations. So this might be a good option to check out. Similarly, rideshare, if you're not able to walk or bike, let's say to your local transit stop or maybe carpool, ride sharing can be a good option. It works essentially like a taxi service, and I think most people know that the operators in Toronto are Uber and Lyft. You simply book a ride, and you can pay on an app through your phone, and you can schedule a ride in real time or far in advance. And so this is a good option if none of the other ones that I talked about work well for you. So let's say you made it to your local transit stop. Now you're wondering how to get on and actually pay your fare. So Presto is a system that we advise people use. It's an electronic payment system, and it's really meant to replace tickets, tokens, cash, and passes. It works with all 11 transit agencies in the GTHA and Ottawa. There's many different benefits of using Presto. It's part of the modernization of TTC, and it helps eliminate people having to carry various different fare options, like having paper tickets and having tokens, all very much centralized into the Presto card, and really helps to make sure that there's seamless cross-boundary travel. So specifically what is available on the Presto card, there are monthly passes. You can see the various ones listed here. The adult monthly pass is $151. So more details about the various different other monthly passes you see here, such as post-secondary, can all be easily viewed on the TTC website. It also gives you details how you can obtain any one of those other passes if you're interested in those. Common question that we get asked is if people can actually continue to use cash fare to board TTC Transit. So cash will be accepted on surface vehicles. On the subways, there won't be any more collector booths, but customers can still use their cash and use one of the Presto machines to obtain a limited use paper Presto. It's like a one-time ticket that they can use to board the transit. So speaking of tokens, the TTC tokens are not going to be transferred to Presto. However, anyone that has a token will be notified well in advance. As of now, the expected timeline is that the tokens will stop being sold mid this year, and at the end of 2019, they will not be accepted any longer. So I think that hopefully is plenty of time for everyone to use any tokens that they might have remaining and get on to the Presto system. So aside from some of the monthly base passes that I was talking about, there's another discount called the 12-month pass on Presto. So this is essentially an annual pass that allows unlimited travel across the TTC. And this pass allows you to buy a monthly pass on a discounted rate. Rather than paying the $151, it is $134 per month, and it requires a 12-month commitment, but can be a very good option if you know you're going to be taking transit regularly in Toronto. In terms of where to buy a Presto card, a lot of different options. You can buy them in person through Shoppers Drug Mart. The fare vending machines also have availability to buy Presto cards. You can call in or visit a customer service center. One of the easiest way is simply to just get it online by applying at prestocard.ca. You may have seen that there's two different versions of the Presto card. There's a black version and a green version. Both have the same functionality. They work the same way. Both of these cost $6 and require people to load on a minimal of $10 to utilize them. And of course, you can load that money on at the Gateway newsstands and whatnot. Alternatively, you can load them through the prestocard.ca website, through your Presto app. As I mentioned, the pre-serve reload machines give that option. And there's actually a great option to auto-load your card. For instance, if you can set a limit that anytime you get below $3 on your Presto card, that it will automatically put on $5. That's a great way to assure that you never go below the balance that you need to use a transit agency that you use. Some of the benefits of registering a Presto card, I actually just mentioned one, is the auto load. In order to do that, you need to actually register your Presto card. It's easy to register your card just by visiting the prestocard.ca website. Another benefit is if you happen to lose your card, you will not be able to transfer the funds that you had to your new Presto card without having registered it ahead of time. So we definitely recommend registering your Presto card. It's free to register and just adds security. You can also check the balance on your Presto card through your online app, through your account. You can also check it anywhere that you would be able to load a Presto card, gives you the option to simply check it as well. And some stations also have just a designated balance checker device, particularly at GO stations that are very useful. An additional perk of using Presto is that you can actually get 30% off your first year of Bike Share Toronto of your membership. All you need to do is simply enter the 17-digit number on the back of your Presto card to be able to receive the discount. Another question that we commonly get is, can I share my Presto card? You can share your Presto card with others when you're not using the card yourself, provided that they are in the same fare category as you. So a post-secondary student can share with a post-secondary student, an adult can share with another adult, but multiple people cannot travel with the same Presto card at the same time. You each need to have your own Presto card. There's an anti-passback feature built into each Presto card that prevents multiple taps from happening within a 5-minute window. If you'd like to transfer your card to someone else that's in a different fare category, let's say you want to switch it from adult to senior, you can have the settings change. You'll simply need to provide proof of government-issued photo ID for seniors or any concession that you are setting. So getting into how to use Presto on the TTC. Where can you use Presto? You can use Presto on all TTC service vehicles and of course the subways as well. You can see pictures of them here. In terms of where to tap, all the doors on the buses and streetcars have Presto machines. While the buses have readers at the back doors, passengers are required to board at the front of the buses to tap on. Streetcar routes usually have them at both the front and the back, so that's great. And so just remember, the key is that when you're using TTC Transit, you do not need to tap off. If you do tap off, you'll be charged a second fare. So let's say you get on the subway and you exit the subway, there's no need to tap when you get off the subway. You'd simply you simply leave. If let's say you'd want to go from a TTC subway to a TTC bus, you can tap then on the bus. And this gets into my second point, is transfers. If you are doing that tap within a 2-hour window frame, it means you will not be charged. You can hop on and off as many times as you like within the 2-hour time frame, and you only pay one fare. And it doesn't matter where you tap to transfer, the back or the front of the streetcar or subway entrances. All you need to remember is you only tap when you board and not when you exit for Toronto Transit. To check proof of payment with Presto, there are enforcement officers. They have handheld devices that allow them to check the customer's card, and it shows them the evolution of your trip and whether you're paying through your monthly pass that you have loaded on your Presto card or simply through the money that you put on through your e-purse. So there is also I think it's 5 TTC routes that go into York Region, and there is some overlap with Mississauga. So people have had some questions about how do those particular routes work. So Presto readers on the TTC buses that operate in York Region or Mississauga are not currently set up to collect YRT or MyWay fares. They're only set up to collect TTC fares. You can use your Presto card to pay your TTC fare when you board the bus in Toronto, and let's say you get off in York Region, you must pay your YRT or MyWay fares if you're getting off Mississauga, just as you would do today, which means you pay in cash or through a YRT app. The same applies in the reverse. Let's say you board a TTC bus in York Region or Mississauga. You must deposit your YRT or MyWay fare or cash into the fare box. And then if you want to pay your TTC fare by Presto, you can simply tap the card when you leave that bus. And a TTC is looking to introduce more cross-boundary payments, so this is a bit more smooth, but they're still ironing out the details and the technology for that. So just some exciting developments. We all know that the subway is extended into Vaughan now. Just to give a little bit of information about that, the trains operate every 2 to 5 minutes, depending on the time of day. They're usually more frequent during the peak hours. And there are parking lots available at Finch West Station, Pioneer Village, and Highway 407. Some other transit developments happening in Toronto, of course, is the Eglinton Crosstown LRT. The expected completion date is in 2021. There'll be 25 stations added. This will really help towards making commuting faster in the city. Faster by 60% is what is projected. So it's very exciting. So now we're just going to talk a little bit about using Presto on transit agencies beyond TTC, so YRT and GO namely. Presto can be used across the entire GO transit network at all GO train stations and the buses as well. The Presto card really helps to try to make the transit easy and convenient. You don't need to buy paper tickets. In terms of how to pay, GO is different than TTC. You have to tap on, but you also have to tap off. If you don't tap off when you exit, you will be charged to the end of the route. So for buses, you tap inside the bus, and off. For trains, some people might know, but the tapping machine is just outside of the station. So you tap that and get onto the train. When you reach your destination, you'll see the little device right outside and you tap off. Another transit agency here is, of course, the Up Express. The Up Express is a train that runs between Union and Pearson Airport. Presto works the same way for Up Express as it does on GO Transit, namely that you must tap on and off. And again, if you do not tap off when you exit, you will be charged at the end of the route. And there are these gray Up Express devices, which is where you tap. They're just located right outside. In terms of fare integration, so the Ride to Go program has been expanded to include all Go buses in addition to trains. You can see the cost breakdown here. The TTC co-fare is only available to Presto users, but so if you're using Go or Up Express to connect to TTC Transit, you simply pay $1.50 for the TTC fare. And for YRT, Viva, connections to Go, it's a $1 transfer to make sure that, make it as smoothly as possible. So I hope most of you are excited to try transit. And of course, you want to make sure that you feel secure in trying it out, especially new users. We have what is called an emergency ride home program. If you have an unforeseen emergency on any day that you use a sustainable method to commute to work, that can be transit or it can be carpooling or anything, you can request a reimbursement of up to $75 for your emergency transportation costs. All you need to do is make sure that you keep a receipt. So the key is that you're using a sustainable mode to commute to work that day, but the emergency can arise, such as a personal or family emergency. Perhaps you carpooled that day and your carpool partner had to leave early to pick up their child, and you're stranded. We will cover the cost of, let's say, the taxi, Uber, or your transit trip home. This is just to make sure that people feel comfortable, they try it out, and they have a safety net in case things change. So most of what I talked about today is available online. There's some Presto and Go Transit YouTube videos that I would definitely recommend checking out, as well, of course, the TTC and YRT websites, so you can find more information there. And as I mentioned, we will be sending this presentation to everybody after today. And so don't jot this down. You'll have it available to you. So now I'll open up the floor to any questions that people have for myself or for our TTC representative on the line. Feel free to type in any questions that you might have into the chat function. Don't see any questions just yet. I will wait for that. Don't see any questions. I completely understand this might be new information for a lot of people. You need to take some time to process that. We're happy to answer any questions that people have after this webinar is over. Everyone should have our contact information. And like I said, I will be sending out this presentation to everybody afterwards. So feel free to ask us any questions that you might have about any information after you get a chance to look through it. With that said, I'll just thank everyone once again for joining us for the webinar today. I really hope this information was useful and that you end up trying out Transit. And yeah, feel free to let us know if you have any questions. Thank you and have a good day.